bathroom. I don't think anybody's gonna show up. People have jobs, I guess. Have to wake up early in the morning. It's alright. I'll just talk to myself. I'll just have a live stream with myself. It's okay. It's alright. It's alright. What you doing? Hi, Bob Jones. Nice to see you. What's up? That's the title of this show is What's Up? Nothing? What'd you ask me? What am I doing? What you doing? I'm doing a live stream from my bathroom. And you're gone. It's okay. Let's see. Might do the live chat so I see everybody. Yeah. Not doing much. What are you doing, Bob Jones? I'm not gone. Oh, awesome. YouTube be screwing with my stuff. There's definitely agents about YouTube culprits. Beware of the people they try to push on you on YouTube is all I gotta say. Because I am having revelations about people. Your favorite YouTubers that tell you the truth. The truth. The so-called truth. Oh, I have 2 people? Yay! This is what my toe-up bathroom looks like, everybody. What? Don't worry, I have the seat down. Hello. 3. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Welcome to my bathroom. Felt I should do something tonight. Are we getting a tour? Well, I'm sitting on the toilet, but I have the seat down. It's not very big. And my landlord is going to try to be a not nice person about things when I move out. So that's not cool. It's like, do I tear this thing out? Look, I have a little fish statue. And I got a jellyfish up there, see? See my cephalopod? Yes. I don't really have topics. I mean, I do have lots of controversial things to say, but if I said them, like a nuclear holocaust might happen, like for reals. So I won't. And, you know, there's certain things that you present to the world, and there's certain things you keep to yourself. Or there's certain things that, you know, you speak to your close, trusted friends about your suspicions about certain people, and then, you know, there's others. It's strategery, right? You know, you don't want to give all your cards at once. So what you are saying is you're from another planet. That's not exactly what I was saying. And I don't really believe in planets. So, I don't know. Plain not. Oh, I know I can talk about my new knowing. I've been having so many revelations, people. Like, we are being so lied to. You don't even know. The lies run so deep. But we live inside of an eyeball. Did you know that? Did you know that? Did you? Well, did you? Guess how much I paid for this in La Jolla? Guess how much? And it's not even filled with lighter fluid. You need a lighter in a pinch? $2.99. $2.99. Oh, you guys want to hear a nice story of a man hitting on me in La Jolla? In the most wealthiest real estate places in the world, La Jolla, California. I was walking around, it's like better than Rodeo Drive. Walking around with my bald, statuesque self, and this guy sitting on a bench. He was sitting with another lady, and they kind of had the look of like homeless or people, or I don't know, like kind of I don't know. But I was walking past, and I just walked past, and I heard, "Beautiful, beautiful." And I knew automatically that he was talking to me, but I pretended I was oblivious, and I just kept walking because I was already past them. And he's like, "Mama, your head's beautiful." And so I turned around and like, "Thanks." He's like, "Your head is so beautiful. I love it." I'm like, "Thank you." And then I kind of kept walking, and went to like the ATM, and then I like walked around a little bit, and then I bought this I needed a lighter, so I'm like walking around, and this is like La Jolla, super expensive town, and I walked into a couple places and asked if they had a lighter, and they didn't, and then finally I kind of like circled back around to where I came from in the beginning, and there was like a little souvenir shop. And was it? Yeah, like I walked into one and they didn't have any lighters. And then I walked out and I ran into this guy again. And now it's like he's walking. He's not sitting on the bench anymore. And he's like, "Oh, I gotta ask you. Are you having treatment right now, or did you just shave it?" And I'm like, "Oh, I just shaved it." And then he's like, "Well, I had melanoma back when I was, in my early 20s." And so he was like wearing this like white t-shirt. It was kind of stained, and he had like a hat on, and he's maybe like, I don't know, maybe in his early 60s, and overweight, and he had like one snaggle tooth, and like no, and kind of slovenly looking, but really nice. And he was talking to me, so I stopped, and I was like, "Oh yeah," and so he thought, he starts talking about his cancer. So I'm like saying, I'm like, "Oh, okay." And he was like, "Oh yeah, they did radiation, and my hair fell out, and it came back just white." And I'm like, "Oh yeah, and like I'm kind of like, I was just, entertaining him and being nice, because he was like telling me about his cancer or whatever. And then he's like, he's like, "Have you ever experienced a man with any teeth?" I'm like, what? He's like, have you ever had any man with no teeth suckle down there? Suckle you down there? And I'm like, oh. I'm like, oh, no. And I don't want to think about it. And he had like one like snaggletooth right in the bottom. And it was just like stuck up, and the rest he had no teeth, and he's like totally toothy. He's like, you'll never go back after you have somebody suckle down there. And I'm just like, oh my god. Like, he said suckle, and he was like showing me his gums. He's like, no teeth. I'm like, oh. And I'm like, I gotta go. And I just like walked into the souvenir shop and I bought this $3 lighter to save myself. He was so gross. It's like, first you think I have cancer, and then second you offer to eat me out with no teeth. Like, gross. Oh, I forgot to mention, before he offered to suckle me, he's like, you know, he's telling me about his cancer, and then he's like, oh yeah, well, the first thing my sponsor tells me is when I see a beautiful woman like you, I tell her right away that I am not ready for a relationship and that I need to focus on my sobriety. And I'm like, well, that's good advice. And then he went into suckling my vagina. So. Hashtag me too. But hence is the woman's life. What do you guys think? You were awesome. Anubis, I love you. Flat Earther, Bob Jones. Okay, I see. John Dozer. Hey, this is my first time here. Why did you shave your head? Ha ha ha. Yellow. Hey, Big Bird. Wow. Charles, did you start a brand new channel? Or do you also still have your other one? Why is it cutting off your... I think your name's too long. One snaggletooth but huge balls. Yeah, right? Like, no. Well, that's an interesting name. But why is it cutting off my comments like that? What? It would have been great if you had, like... Hey, Big Bird, your comments are, like, getting chopped off on my thing. I don't know why. And pulled out and started reading them. He was laughing at your store right by. Yeah, so that was the day I went to go look at the seals or the sea lions at La Jolla. Yeah, just the whole like he said suckle. Like, I've never heard anybody say suckle like for eating you out. It was just like a gross mental, like, and he was like well, actually it's my original name. Hey, Big Bird, do you know it's like cutting off your thingies? Is it doing that on everybody's? Is everybody's it's like cutting off the edge of the bubble? Or is it just on mine? So why did I shave my head? Well, I made a whole video about it, John Dozer. You can go watch it. Give me some views, please. Do you still have your water bearer channel though? I shaved my head because I used to wear, well, a long time, well, it's over a year ago, wear hair extensions, and it messed up my hair, and also maybe Morgellons. I don't know. I needed to shave my head. Oh, that suckling noise reminds me of Landlord from Kingdom. It reminds me of Silence of the Lambs. It goes, fava beans and a nice Chianti. Wait, where did my comments go? Yeah, I've been doing battles with the A CERN. They're a little upset. Sorry, it was hilarious. She did it because she's awesome. Thanks. Yeah, but like, people don't understand. These stories, these things actually happen to me. Like, men come up and talk about suckling my vagina. Like this happens. I don't know if this happens to other people. It's weird. Artificial intelligence is not as advanced. Big Bird, I just lost so many viewers. I just lost like 50%. Amalgamation simultaneously. Hey Big Bird, you got some secret admirers. Did you see? I was supposed to see some jazz music tonight, but plans got diverted. As happens in The Matrix. I did wear blue suede shoes though. So we live inside of an eyeball. Did you meet up with the snaggletooth? Yeah. I did. And he suckled me. I know. He gave me a good suckling. Yeah. It was like a nursing experience. We bonded, you know. The numbers are not what they seem. Angel message, don't worry about the meanings. Are you high right now? I think you might be. Is he the one? Is who the one? Snaggletooth? No. Number is changed. My number is changed all the time. Your phone number? Have you guys, what do you guys think of the whole trans agenda thing? What do you think about that? Oops. I've been trying to put why? Hey, can you guys tell me, when you look at your comments, is Charles Villarreal, aka the Big Bird, is his comment bubble like cut off like right here? Like it stops, like it's the bubble's cut off. Propaganda and the elites are going down. But yeah, who's gonna, how are they going down? When? Who? Why? Where? How? When? It also says the operator. Smooth operator. Smooth operator. Coast to coast, LA to Chicago. Why do I have a wine opener in the bathroom? Nobody will know. Nobody will know. Whoopsies. Although stone Big Bird, I'm still here. I'm losing people left and right. What do you guys want to talk about? I have more stories. Do you want me to tell you about the time I almost peed on a homeless man in downtown San Diego? That was over 10 years ago. I just got lost in downtown San Diego like a few minutes ago. You think I can open my brain with this? Okay, so, stories, so many stories. So, when I was in college, in undergraduate in San Diego for Halloween. Downtown San Diego was having this party for Halloween. It was like a block party. They like blocked off the streets. Hi, Ann. And it was sponsored by Southern Comfort, you know, SoCo, and so like it was. I wore my high school cheerleading uniform, so I was a cheerleader, and it was like where you had to have tickets, and then like you went inside, you know, because they had blocked off all the streets. So once you're inside, you're like in like the fenced in, you know, city area, and there was the only drinks were all Southern Comfort drinks, which was disgusting. And so I was like 20. I was 21. I was 21, yeah. And so we were there for a while, and it was kind of lame. And then there was just like a bank of porta potties, right? Like a whole line, and the lines for the porta potties were like, it was like a grip of people. So the roommate, my roommate and I, and who's now her husband, they both grew up in the town I'm from. We're just like, we can't wait to go pee. Like, we'll just like go out of the cordon area and go pee, and then just come back in. So we went outside, and granted, this is all like downtown San Diego, like in the middle of skyscrapers and stuff. So it's like city streets, but it's nighttime. So we walk out, and we're kind of like walking along the street, and you know, it's like big brick buildings, and there's these like hedges, like big bushes in front of the buildings along the sidewalk, in between the sidewalk and the buildings. And the hedges are like deep. And there's like this part where the hedges are cut in, I think because there was like a fire hydrant or something. So I'm like, okay, like you guys guard me. I have to pee. So you guys just guard me, and I'll just like back my ass up into this bush. And because it was just like the bush, it was the sidewalk, and then the bush, and then the building, the bricks of the building. So I had my cheerleading skirt, so I just like back up, and I like lift up my skirt, and I squat, and I start to like, I back up, and I hear this like little voice from behind me in the bush, and it's like, please don't pee on me. And it's like, I swear it's like the little guy it's like the old man from The Simpsons with no teeth. Like this old withered man is like sitting in the bush, like a little bushman, and he's inside the bush, and he's like living in the bush, and I'm like squatting over him, and I'm about to piss on him. And I was like, oh my God, there's a man in the bush, there's a man in the bush. Yeah, I didn't pee on him, but it was like, it was like the bush was like this thick. I don't know how, like you wouldn't have even thought to think that there would be a person in there. And it was like, please don't pee on me. Okay, that's my Halloween pee story. Yeah, what's going on with, hey, Anubis, how's the backlash coming on that video? I'm sure you've gotten some from that, huh? And true love is having everything. Did something happen that I missed with like Venus and stuff? Did they like say something new, or is this just a long time coming? Because I haven't felt like anything new has happened. 46, an angel. 46. I don't know. 46 is significant. Changing your water bear. Charles, you're on some crack. Bushman. Please don't be on me. It was like that. I was like, please don't be on me. Portal. What's up? I should say live lobotomy tonight. Oh, I just lost one. People don't like the live lobotomies. Dance, baby. Dance, dance, take off your pants. Dance, dance, take off your pants. Dance, dance, take off your pants. I'm not gonna take off my pants. Oh, I lost, people don't like to watch me. Yeah, well, I'll be right back. Don't go! The ones who will listen are your truth, and the ones who distance you will need not worrying. Very eloquent, thank you. The Clash? Yeah, a little. Oh. Yeah. Backlash? 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 What else? I'm gonna be moving soon. So there's that. Yep. Are you moving out of SD? Yes. That is affirmative. So what else is going on? I feel like, I don't know, like there's kind of like a deadness on YouTube right now, huh? What state do you live in? Come on now, don't ask dumb questions. People in the chat room can tell you where I live. Hello, hello. I've been learning a lot about RVs lately. Sorry, I live in a whale's vagina. That is correct. It is correct. Afternoon delight. You guys all need to catch up if you're not getting that reference. You know, I've like dated lots of men who've never seen Anchorman. Isn't that weird? I lost my virginity in an RV. I lost my virginity in a bed. Is that the craziest place you've had sex, was where you lost your virginity? That would be kind of a bummer, right? If like the craziest sex you've had was when you lost your virginity. That would be like, I guess, no, that wouldn't be possible. I don't think that would be possible. Yeah, we won't talk about my sexual encounters on this. I'm so open, I'm just like tempted to be like, oh yeah, I'll tell you about this, tell you about that. Like, no Kim, no Aphrodite, no, no, shut up. Shh. Imagine losing your virginity in a public place. I mean, losing your virginity shouldn't be anything that is like sensational. Like there shouldn't be any other like extraneous factors to it. Like Six Flags. That sounds like a shitty place to lose your virginity. Like most of the time most people's losing their virginity stories are not that like, you know, like a good sexual experience. Like it's usually fast and, you know, I felt mine was decent. Good. Yeah, mine was decent. Mine was good too. Yeah, mine was good. First time is usually the worst time. No. I don't think that's true. The first time is not the worst time. Maybe the first time, no. I lasted 33 seconds. Would you have a timer running? Gotta get that nice sonic number in there. Well, when I lost my virginity, I came 33 times, so there. Do you believe me? Yo, I'm back. Anubis! Anubis, I want to know, what is your... Did something happen? What was your motivation to make that video? What else? Did you know history is totally fake? I like your beanie. Thank you. You know what? This beanie was too small until I shaved my head. And now it fits perfect. Because it's not really meant for hair. It's pretty small. So I have a large brain. Talk about flat earth. Well, I think the new knowing is it's not flat. It's more like, it's called like an annular disc, right? So it's like, so think of a disc and then it's kind of dented in the middle. So it's like a donut but without the hole. So it kind of has a divot in the center. So and then there's like a you know, like it's dented in the center, and then it goes up, and then it kind of curves down at the edges. Like a hockey puck, but it's kind of squished in the middle. So that means the North Pole is actually downhill. So, like, there's stuff down there that we can't see because of perspective. And I'm thinking that naturally, and that's why, like, when you get closer, everything gets sucked because it's going, like, down a sink. Like, it's going downhill. And I think maybe that the controllers are, like, pumping the water out. Like, they're keeping it from going down. So maybe the North Pole is like dry right now and it should be filled with water. I don't know. But I don't think it's flat. But I do think that maybe we're on the inside of our eyeball on the lens, and it's like the annular disc. It's the same shape as a sickle cell, red blood cell, or like a vertebral disc. Yeah. And that would also give credence to the advantages of being on the 33rd parallel, because maybe that's like the highest point of the, the part that's the highest of the hump. So when the flood happens, like the center is going to flood, and then the outer regions are going to flood. But, the people on the top of the mound won't. I don't know. I don't know if it matters that much. I'm just tired of like all the systems, like all the systems are out to get us. Yeah, they're definitely hiding more land. It's either that we're living on a confined, because then if we're on the top of our lens, then our iris muscle kind of comes up the sides. So just like the guy who went up on the balloon, and I think Tesla, it's a relatively flat disc with upturned edges, like a meniscus, and the upturned edges are the muscle of our eye. I'm not really explaining it very well, but because I'm kind of doing it lackadaisical, but yeah, and when the golden age happens, the light's going to come through the ground, shine through the soles of our feet, and illuminate us. I could explain it better, but I'm a little lazy right now. Does that make sense? Does that make sense? We live in a ball. Yawn back. I want to hear your story is one. Look up. And it's like hella late over there, isn't it? But I did it for the benefit of growth for all. So the ball not on. Yeah, and I think we live inside of a ball, like an eyeball. Maybe there's more land or oceans past the poles. I don't think there's a South Pole. Yeah, I think there's lots of land, and they try to keep us contained. I think you're right. What is your ring? Like it just looks like it kind of goes over. This one's. Oh, thanks. Enter the stars. Hey. Oh yeah, that's where I got most of my ideas is from you. Enter the. Why does it look different? It's enter the stars. Oh, but you just did it with a 5 and a. Okay. Yeah. Oh. Yeah, and I'm thinking about this idea if we all got together and tried to wake this being up, if we consciously, I mean, it kind of gives a whole new credence to the, like, it's all but a dream, life is but a dream, you know, the one eye symbolism, wake up, open your eyes, like in Vanilla Sky, open your eyes, open your eyes. But yeah, if we all got together and consciously, like, focused on waking the being up, like open your eye, wake up. Maybe did like certain kind of like stomping maneuvers, like simultaneous thump, like pounding. I'll be right back. We're in a total farm. We're totally like farmed. Thank you. I got lots of rings. Do you want to see another cool ring? It's kind of busted. Like it broke. It's like a diamond, it's like a huge. I have lots of jewels. Hi, Bruce. Oh, sorry. Where are you gonna live off the grid? I want to live off the grid too. What's a Buddha map? Is there other land where all this? Yeah. Yeah, I think there is a place called Antarctica. But I think it's like one of, I mean, maybe Antarctica is just the name they call it for the dummies, but, I mean, there is a place that they show as Antarctica, but I think that's one of many other lands, and not all of them are cold. I also think that anything with tuxedo coloring, like that looks like a tuxedo, is an artificial animal, like pandas and penguins, and just the tuxedo in general, like the whole concept of a tuxedo. It's like a polarized, hypnotic, you know, black and white. Yeah, and penguins are weird. Penguins are weird animals, and they're like, act like humans, you know? That's something too, that's, if you guys, that's really disturbing that I don't like. Have you guys seen, so my YouTube friend, it's like Flat Earth, Marcel Hess, he's German. He does a lot of flat earth videos and like space videos, and some of them are in English, but it's like he has access to, I don't know if he has access to other footage, or maybe I just don't watch a lot of other people's stuff, but it's stuff that I've never seen before, of like space footage. And anyways, he has a lot of new stuff on like Antarctica and the Arctic, and you know, even recent footage of people going up there in the Arctic, and the animals, like you just walk almost like the sea lions in La Jolla. You just like walk up to the little babies and to the mamas, and you could just like walk up, and all I'm thinking of is like the old people clubbing the seals. Like, you know, you just heard of the trappers, whatever, would just like, you know, whack all the dodos and the club the baby seals, and you could see the animals, they just don't know people, and they're just so trusting. Like you just like go and murder everything, and nothing is scared. which is kind of like in a kind of an Agartha kind of type energy, but yeah, that makes me it always makes me nervous when animals aren't afraid of people, you know. So, and I'm also learning that, you know, like all of these earthquakes, you know, those are all like super fake. So if you go back in time to all of the earthquakes that happened, you know that they were strategically set to accomplish some goal. Just like, you know, the Chicago fires and stuff, you know, like these things were purposely done to rezone, to build an industry of construction, you know, because if you burn everything down, you need to build new buildings, you know, so it creates an industry, and politics, and yeah, like rezoning land and all of that. And the same with earthquakes. And I just learned today, like one of the biggest earthquakes in America happened in Valdez, Alaska, and they just moved the whole town like a few miles over after the earthquake, and just called it New Valdez. And it's like, why did they do that? And the earthquake must have been deliberately set for a reason. And, you know, like it was all set in gold country, and Valdez was built on all the gold deposits, you know, and all of this new information coming out, at least being pushed on YouTube right now about gold, and it being, you know, the blood of giants and stuff. So it's like, did they probably caused the greatest earthquake in America in Valdez, Alaska, and then move the town over, get all the people out, because they discovered some huge gold deposit, giant, I don't know. But I think that there's lots of stuff up north. I know. Spiritual warfare, yeah, but we can be above it. Like, that's part of the Holy Trinity, right? It's like the third choice. It's like ascension of polarity. Like, that's what I'm saying. The black and white, the tuxedo, the penguins, like North and South Pole. There's more than two. That's the big, that's like the big over-encompassing lesson, I would say, of this realm, probably, is the ascension of polarity. It's like there's more than two choices. Like, it's not a chess game. You know, like, you don't have, there's a third choice, and once you have three, you have infinity. So you can choose to not play anymore. It's not like, oh, it's a battle of good and evil. No. Oh, yeah, okay, it's a battle of good and evil, but I can also choose just not to play anymore. Like, I don't have to choose good or evil. I can just be like, hey, you guys just, like, do your own thing. I'm not gonna be part of it. You know? It's just like, you know, two ants arguing over what's good and evil, and you're like the person with the magnifying glass. Like, do you even care what the ants think are good and evil? Like, you don't care what their perspective is. That's like, that's what politics are. That's, you know, it's all just dumb. Like, there's no, like, the good and evil is just a trap to keep you occupied. Stable, inventory. Yeah. Zebra, not natural. Oh yeah, right, the zebra. Yeah, and like how everything's cloned. Yeah, oh, and learning about dogs, like how they're just like, yeah, dogs are just like an economic sink, and they don't live very long, and it's just like a genetic hodgepodge. Strange heritage. Sure. Ours is awake. Woo! We need to wake the being up. We need to wake the land up. Do you believe in God then? I believe like, not to sound like, it always comes out sounding like I'm a megalomaniac or something, but like I am God, like I am an extension of God. I am, there's no separation, you know. I feel like it's the concept of having a personified God is a choice that someone makes to give their power away and to play with the energy of being separate, when in fact we're never separate. There is no separation, just like Muji says. You're God's child. No, not God's child. Like you think, like, you know, to lack of a better term, like an octopus. You know, with super large tentacles. Like, the tentacle is like, you know, dipping into this pool over here. The tip of the tentacle in the pool, you know, is that separate? Is that a different thing than the tentacle that's not in the pool? It's all connected to the same being. It's all the same thing. But, you know, but this tentacle is having a different experience than that tentacle. They're the same being. There's different parts of it. But there's no separation. It's not a different being. So, like, the reasons why we don't have, like, perpetual knowing of the other tentacle's experience, is because of the toxicity of our environment and the spell that we are under is to keep us asleep and to keep this being asleep, to keep it like in a lullaby, and it's a sound resonance, and it's through the language, and it creates a spell, they keep people from perceiving and keep them in a slumber, a type of numbness. I don't know, what was I talking about? In a master DNA co-creator, our consciousness is God, animals not beneath us. I don't know. But I definitely don't think we need to like worship anything. Like you should only worship yourself. 'Cause it said my iPhone hasn't been backed up in 75 weeks. Never will I ever. I want to chill with you and smoke cannabis. It is a difficult game for sure, almost unbeatable, but probably simple. It's not unbeatable. It's been beaten. It has been beat. It has been bought. Beaten, bought. We are already out of the game because we can conceive of it. If we ask the question and think the thought, then the quantum possibility exists. Therefore, it exists. The game of life. Yeah. The game of life. What is the game of life? The game of life. I used to love that game. Worship each other. Yeah. I think that's the goal, is to find a person. Well, I don't know. It's to be okay with yourself. Hollywood has a story of what life should be about. Yeah. Yeah, and the deception runs so deep, like even here on YouTube, like even people that you think are like truthers or whatever, they are also like in the trans agenda and stuff, like presenting themselves, and it's like, okay, well, if you're presenting yourself as this person and you're really not that person, what else are you lying about? Like your whole story, like where you come from, like your background, is that all a script too? Like, and who's telling you to say all these things? Like they obviously have an agent, like a Hollywood agent that gives them bookings, but like who's providing them the script? And it's like, are these people like attending like satanic like rituals? Like how deep is the, and then it's like, are they even people? Or I don't like, it's, it's like there's people that sell out, right, to because they want to obtain some goal, or maybe they were raised and they didn't have a choice, because they were changed, their sex was changed at an early age, and they were given hormones, and everybody around them grows up like that because they're, they grew up around actors and, activists and, in the industry or whatever, and you just don't know any different. Maybe you think little kids take pills. Like maybe you were told they were your vitamins or something. But it's like once you're an adult and you know, at some point you're perpetuating this like lie, and you know that most people think that the world is a certain way, and you know it doesn't. It's not that way. And yet you choose to like purposely lie to people and present it as truth. Like these truther people that are like purposely lying. Like I just don't get that. Like, are those even real people? Are they, or is it just all so fake that it's like they're literally just not people? Or are they just like super sellout actors? Like that they just really have no soul and they don't care. Yeah, and then it's like, or are they like kind of really religious in their own, whether it's Zionism or Satanism or Luciferianism or whatever ism it is, that they feel so righteous. Like this is like their mission is to fool the masses for their greater good, for whatever their purpose is, to bring back the real Messiah, whatever their goal is. I don't know, but maybe that's their motivation. Maybe that's it. They feel that they are doing this greater cause, like, and that's the whole battle of good and evil, is because whoever side you are on, you're always going to think you're the good. You're never going to think you're the bad. So, because you're always going to have the righteous cause, Oh, they wronged me first. And the other person always thinks they wronged me first, Everybody always has an excuse on why they deserve to be. Well, I remember being in high school and wondered how exposing your nipples and everything. Now I get it. I know, right? Jennifer Aniston. Yeah, I know. Yeah, and I thought about, you think about, I've already talked about this, like Christina Aguilera and stuff. And, like in high school, when, like, yeah, graduating high school and then going into college, it was, like 2000, 2002. And it was, Britney Spears and Christina Aguilera and Jessica Simpson, and they all had like the low hip huggers. They were like, you had to like shave your pubic hair almost. And then they had the ones with like, they had like the laces. So like it like cracked open and you had like little lace. And I had those, and they were really low. And, they would wear them, the Christina Aguilera would wear them a lot. And then they had them so low that you wear your thong, like your whale tail. I never did that, but like I used to put them on and I hated them. Like I'd put them on and I'd do this like constantly on my hips because I just do this because I had hips and like they sit so low, like right at the widest part of your hips. It makes you look wider. And I was just like, oh my God, I look so fat. I look so fat. It's like, because I had hips, and then looking at little boys with hip huggers. Like Christina Aguilera was a little boy. Like they're all boys. They had no hips. And, here I am, with hips, thinking I'm fat, and I'm not fat, and, all my friends and stuff. And it's just like this deliberate indoctrination to like hate our bodies. And and it's funny too because guys really like hips, but it seems like now, like the younger generation, it's okay like having some some meat on your bones is okay, but when I was a teenager, it was like you needed to be like skinny, and like it wasn't like if you had like an ass, it was like, oh yeah. You know, we do like hips or hip. Yeah. But it's all this like contrived like agenda so that we don't, so men don't like women and women don't like men. And women hate themselves. And a lot of gay men really hate women too. And they run the fashion industry. I love a woman with a full push. Nice. Yeah, I found in my, like, I think most guys don't really care. Like, it's like, you know, if you're like there and willing, you know, guys like, hey, it's cool. But I have had guys like be dickheads about things, but you live and you learn, and then you get loves. It's a diaper commercial. What else? What else? What else was we supposed to say? What's up, Mr. West? Bubbles. 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 Now tomorrow I live in a day. From that, the next, my dreams. I don't know, the comments are being like cut off on mine, so I can't. It won't. Being so poetic. So poetic. You're being so poetic. Hollywood is like 5 hours south of me. Aren't you in Reading? I thought you were in, that's farther. Like in Red Bluff. Cool. I like California. I'm moving back there next year. Cool. Hollywood's dirty at Courtney Love Snatch. I don't know, do you think Courtney Love has a snatch? Yeah, I don't like LA. I lived in Studio City for like a month. And then I left. LA is the pits. Like, takes forever to get anywhere. The traffic is horrendous. I did spend a lot of time in Beverly Hills though. That's nice. It's nice when you don't have to like drive outside of your little neighborhood. If you just stay in, like if you're in Santa Monica and you stay there, I think that's good. But like Beverly Hills, you stay there, it's nice. But like if you're like in Beverly Hills and then you have to always go to Santa Monica, then it sucks. If you have to commute anywhere, it's crappy. How many trannies live in Hollywood? I think a lot. I think it's pretty much, if you're on TV, you're probably trans. And now I'm learning, like, if you have any sponsor on YouTube, you're probably trans too. Nightmare. Think they clone people? I think, yeah, they probably do, but I don't think the clones are like what we think. They're not. I think that you have to have like some embryos. I think like it's part of the IVF industry. All of the embryos that are donated to science, stuff like that. I don't think like they have clones where they could like take some of my skin and then like build like a body of me. I think that they try, but I do know that like certain things have it is a measure of vitality, and actually Aurora talks about this on her sexuality. It's not her most recent video, but it's like the one from last week. Pretty controversial views, but it makes a lot of sense. And like a baby created from like in vitro, or like a sperm donor, and you know somebody's donated egg and it's forcefully put together in a petri dish, is not is not going to have the same vitality as, you know, two people who love each other so much and they, you know, create a being out of that love, right? That being that was made from the force of the love energy in nature, it's going to have so much more vitality and life force energy than something that, you know, a sperm that was never ever going to ever come across this egg being forcefully pushed together under chemical circumstances. The vitality of those tissues is just not going to be the same. And I think it is, you know, like babies that are created under more forced conditions, like IVF and in vitro fertilization, and there is like a gamut of different variations of how you can have in vitro fertilization, you know, like what is augmented, like you can, there's all kinds of different ways you can have a baby these days, but those children have usually more health problems, and like teeth problems, and you know, born as premature, and asthma, and you know, allergies, and all those things. And, you know, and everybody's different. And of course, there's babies born, people who love each other, that have problems too. And there's people born of IVF who are perfectly healthy. But these are all just trends, right? But so a clone, those tissues aren't going to be as stable that as a, a, a person created out of deliberate, you know, if you think of two beings like loving each other and they're like orgasms, like going into creation of a new being, and then you think of like somebody in a petri dish with like a sperm and an egg, or you think of somebody like taking a cell from a sheep and like squirting in like your human DNA or whatever they do, like it's just not the same. So yeah, I think they do exist, but they can't do much with it. It's not like it's like a walking human clone. I think a lot of what they try to make it seem like they're more advanced than they are, like the whole 5G thing, and like they're trying to scare us like that they're so all-encompassing. And the same thing with the clones and stuff. Just like hello, legendary smasher. Just like, you know, Mag is saying that a lot of them are wearing masks, like silicone masks, and that's part of the agenda to get people to do plastic surgery, to feed this industry of going under the knife. And I think that's to get people to, you know, get the chemicals, the pharmaceuticals in their bloodstream. But you know, these people on TV aren't doing the plastic surgery. They're wearing a mask. And that makes it so they can get away, you know, so multiple people can play one celebrity. You know, like how Elon Musk never looks the same because it's a bunch of different people wearing a mask. You know, like his body looks different every time you look at him. His hair looks different. It's a different person each time. So yeah, Steve Harvey, yeah. And they look different. Like, oh, and you know, Donald Trump, like there's a bunch of different of those guys. Sometimes he's fat, sometimes he's thin. Sometimes he's taller. What's up, folks? Never looked that up. Yeah. What'd you say? What'd you say? Different soul. He was probably raped by the Hollywood long noses to get back into Hollywood. Who was raped? That reminds me, I was just talking about was it movie Roxanne? Steve Martin? Right? Where he's the firefighter with the long nose. I was just talking with Hermes that, yeah, we were talking about, like, he's one of those actors, Steve Martin, where he was like 20, 25, and then he, like, went straight to 50 and stayed at 50 for, like, 3 decades. Like, there's like actors that like went like from 25 to 50 and they just stayed looking like they were 50 years old forever. Yeah, so Steve Martin's one of them. Another one is like Richard Gere, right? Like in Pretty Woman, like he's probably 20 something and he looks like he's 50 years old. Like they have the gray hair. And then they just stay looking like that. Like they've looked the same since like 1980. But in 1980 when they were 25, they looked like they were 50. Who was another person that we thought of? There's a few of them. What was another one with gray hair? Except Keanu Reeves, I know. Yeah, except recently he got, like, they switched him out, or it's a new guy, or they did some plastic surgery or something, but he has, like, the weird, like he got a lower blepharoplasty, or it's like, or the filler underneath the eyes, or it's all, like, weird and puffy now. I want to think of the other actors we thought that did this, the aging. Yeah, kind of Martin Short, that was the same too, but, where's the other one? There's such a puppet douchebag. He's he's one of the high up warlock dudes. Jamal will be.